Hey guys, what's up? Roshi is here. Just a few minutes ago, actually, uh, the devs released a new promo. It's not in the client yet. I'm sure we'll see it sometime in the next few hours. It'll go live. But I wanted to give my thoughts on this card because it actually kind of jumped out to me as maybe a fun card to play with. Um, so it's Celebration, 2 power, play a random 1 cost unit, and then amplify by 1, increase the cost of the unit by 1. So from my understanding of how this works is, whenever you play this, it's going to go into all of the pool of, for example, the base form, 1 cost units, randomly pick one, and put it into play. The way it reads to me, and I think this is correct, increase the cost of the unit by 1. So then what it's going to do, let's say we play it for 3, it's going to go through all of the units, and it's going to sort by all of the 2 cost units and randomly pick one. So pretty straightforward. I think it seems like a good card. A couple quick things to point out about this card. It is an even card, so all of you Throne players out there, this is potentially a tool for an even-handed Golem list. Exciting things to think about when we see a card like this. For one thing, it's a neutral cost card, and it creates a body from a spell. So if you're playing a deck where spells matter and having spells in your void is important, maybe this is a good card for you. Another place where this is interesting is if we're looking at Dramatist's, well, apparently I can't spell. I will, oh right, so let's just pull it up here. Mask. Well, I'm good at this, guys. Oh, I'm sorting by 2. Alright, Dramatist's Mask. At the start of your turn, sacrifice the wielder to play a random unit from your deck, then play a copy of Mask on it. So one of the fun things people have done, let me blow this up here for you. Oops. If you're playing a deck that has no creatures in it, but the creature you want to ramp into with Mask, you can go ahead and use spells to create your tokens, like Celebration, for example, and then put Mask on those tokens, and then whenever it gets the random unit, it's just going to be the only unit in your deck. So Celebration is a cheap way to do this, and it doesn't lock you into any factions when you're doing it. Obviously, you're going to be fire, so you get access to some Grenadines. But maybe now you're not forced to also play Primal. Maybe you could do some other things. Primal is usually other faction people play when they're trying to do that. Other exciting things about this, go ahead and sort by expedition and unit. So where this starts to get more interesting is in expedition, there's a lot less cards you have an option to hit. So, for example, when we're looking at the 6 slot, let's say you spent, how much would that be? 7 power on it, if my math isn't wrong. Maybe it's 8, whatever. That aside, let's say you were going for the 6-drop ramp. There's a lot of really solid 6-drops, and like, the low end is not that bad. Like, you know, maybe we don't want a 6 power 3/5 or a 7 power 3/5, but like, you know, for like a late game bomb, even if you're just getting like a draft card, whenever we get into formats like Expedition where there's less actual options, you're more likely to hit something good. So the 6 drops are pretty interesting, and then where I think it starts to get really interesting is when we start getting to the 7 or 8 territory. Because, like, just look at the 8 drops as we're going through. Umbran Occluder, Shimmer Pack, Voprix, Reality Breaker, skipped past on accident, but we've got Jotun Ice Slinger. I guess that could be kind of lame if you're not playing Shadow. But we've got, like, Mokto over here, Omen Scar Worm, Belching Behemoth. Like, it doesn't seem great, but gaining that 6 life could be fine. And yeah, then we've got like Caleb and Hammerhand and like Arcanum Battery. So obviously there's some low end, but there's a lot of really like top, like real good stuff if you're hitting this 8 slot. And then 7's a little more diluted. 9 is just extremely spicy. Zaxo, Love. I don't think there's a lot of low rolls you can get on 9. Like, even if you slam a Clockwork Sentinel into play, like, you don't hate that. No Justice 9s, no Shadow 9s. So, from what I'm seeing, if you are going to fire this off for 9, you have a 33% chance to hit Clockwork Sentinel, 33% chance to hit Lava Blood Goliath, and 33% chance to hit Zaxo. So this is kind of what I wanted to point out with this card, is in a format like Expedition, where there's less cards, when you're firing this, you're always going to get the same things. It looks like you definitely never want to fire this off for 10. And 11 would be pretty bad as well, because you just get Sigvard. Pretty sure. But where it could be pretty interesting as well, if you're ever firing it off for 12, I mean, that's just a guaranteed Spirit of Resistance, so you could just include a bunch of celebrations in your list, and just keep in mind that if you ever dump in the power to place to jam out a random 12 drop, it actually just reads put Spirit of Resistance into play. So that's very interesting. If we stop sorting by Expedition, you'll see it opens up your slots a bit, and I actually think it gets a little worse when you're not in Expedition, just because there's more options. I'm kind of interested to see what other 10 cost units there are, because I can't remember any off the top of my head. Oh, so 10, you can get Scourge. And Throne, at least. If it's only Scourge, that's kind of insane. Okay, so we can get Blurred, Stygiamoth, Royal Guardian, and Foraging Sauropod. So that's actually pretty bad. That dilutes it quite a bit. You know, if we pretended like time didn't exist, though, that would be insane. And then these 11s are looking spicy, too. I'm not really sure how you'd go about triggering Tribute for First Flame, but if your deck was able to do it, that'd be pretty solid. And then we have Sigvard again, which is bad. But going off on a tangent here, aside from yeah, I think Expedition players will definitely like this card more, but Throne players can play it with Even-Handed Golem, and that'll be pretty sweet. Since it is a neutral card, I have no idea what deck like this is really going to slot in, like what decks are going to want this. But it's interesting. It can theoretically go into any deck, and if you're an Expedition and you're generating a lot of ramp, you could potentially see value in running Celebration as just a filler card for early on, where you just play it and it makes a body. And then later on in the game, you know, it's a very malleable card that can be what you want it to be at every stage in the game. And when you hit the ultra end game, it's going to always be Spirit of Resistance. And if you fire it off at the 9s, it's always going to be something good. You're either going to kill one of their guys, or just create Zaxo, which is good value, or slam a 12/12 into play. So that's kind of my review of this card. I think it's sweet. Let me know what you guys think, if there's any decks you're excited to play with it. Once I get my playset, I'll probably be brewing with it, so we're looking at November probably for when we have our playset, unless they give some sort of pre-order 4-pack. I don't think this card's going to break the meta by any means, but it's a cool card, and I'm excited to brew with it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Hop on my Discord. I still have some codes I'll be giving away to people who are active. If you find this content interesting, please subscribe. It helps my content get to the right people, and if you like, it will also show my content to the right people and more people. and then more people can be enlightened in the... Well, I guess not really enlightened. More people will get to enjoy the memes that we are creating here. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.